Welcome, people of Earth, to Karthritis episode 14, is it?
14.
Already?
Correct.
Wow.
Jeez.
We have a lot of guests today, but we'll let them introduce themselves through a long means of answering a question.
You got a question lined up for us, Sargas?
You know, in the Karthritis book, I have like 20 questions, and I have to pick one each time, so that's not too hard, but that means...
Wait. Let me cross-talk you there for a second. There is a Karthritis book?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Again? Every time I mention that, I have the same response.
It's Kartmentia, I'm sorry.
Right. Well, I can't blame you.
Kartmentia.
The question I picked means basically, Antistar, you're going to use up the entire hour from the show answering this.
Oh, we're shooting for an hour? Oh my god. Okay.
No, that's probably not going to work anyway.
No.
But the bulk of that hour shouldn't be one guy's answer to the initial question. But who am I to lay down the rules? Starting off is the gaming guru extraordinaire. Hopefully with a brief answer to a simple question. So, yeah. Antistar, if you could be a game character for a day, which one and why?
Donkey Kong Jr. from Super Mario Kart, of course.
That was so fast.
Yeah, like Donkey Kong Jr.
Why?
You said that was so fast. So I answered, yes, just like Donkey Kong Jr. Because Donkey Kong Jr. is fast, actually.
Wow, it's debatable.
Yeah.
That's absolutely an epic fail to start the Karthritis episode. Congratulations.
Nice.
Well, if you don't know that Donkey Kong Jr. is the fastest character, you're gonna have some problems playing Mario Kart.
Thanks for the tip.
You're welcome, man.
All right, I'll remember that. All right, next up, I guess, Kyle.
Oh, Jesus. I would want you to come back to me. Like, I'm going to say... Shit. No, not just literally. One of my favorite video games is actually Deus Ex, so I'm just going to go and pick that guy. You know, robot arms, EMPs, see through walls, all that kind of cyborg.
Fair shot.
Gotta run stuff.
I would be Sephiroth for a day.
Well, that's an interesting lifestyle.
And why? The answer is why not?
Nicely done.
Yeah, that'll work.
Alright, I want to be Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
That's a nice pick.
Because, I mean, dude, you'd be Mike Tyson. Like, do I even have to explain any more than that? I'd have a face tattoo. I would be harassed at airports all day, every day. It'd be perfect.
Remind me what perfect means in your language.
Oh, it means slightly embarrassing.
Okay, I got it. The American way.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
This is KVD here. I would like to be Yoshi from Super Mario Kart for a day, just so I can have the sadistic pleasure of sniping professional Mario Kart players.
Just to turn the tables for once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is it me?
No, I'll go first, Clark.
All right, fair enough.
So you have some more time to think of something funny.
I've got one.
You cannot pick Watford from Championship Manager.
Right, I'll have to start thinking then.
You're just gonna pick a player.
I think I don't have a great answer. I didn't think before I asked the question, but I think I'm gonna have to go for... Yes.
Your question, and this is your question, and you didn't even think about an answer.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
an important part of picking the question, so I don't have an unfair advantage. Because
Right,
I wrote down like 25 questions like a year ago, and now I'm just going through them, picking randomly. And for this question, I would have to go with to fulfill two of my dreams at once. I would have to go with Samus from Metroid, Super Metroid.
Yep, fair enough.
What would those
Bet you
be?
could be a girl.
Why?
Yes.
Yeah, feel your tits and all that.
Yes. The superhero and female dream, both.
Oh, nice.
That's
Good choice.
settled.
Yeah. Okay, well, hi, I'm Zarkov. And I was going to go with Troy Deeney from Championship Manager, but I've been banned. So I will go with Sami from Super Para Go Kart, so I can shower Carol with loads of silver trophies over and over.
Oh, the banter.
I always
Thanks,
known
mate.
that Sammy was your biggest hero ever.
Well, he is to everyone from England. He's our idol. We all wish to be Sami.
Yeah, the previous time trial champion.
Previous, yeah.
He's going to grow a mullet since Sami is his hero.
Oh no!
We'll get into the
Don't
mullet
know.
question, but this is all nicely segueing into the reason why we're all gathered here. So we only have one topic for today, and that's ASC.
Pretty much.
I think that would be
Or
a
do
good
we-
way to go about it.
I think there's another topic. Watford reaching the FA Cup final in
Yeah.
spectacular fashion.
Could you do your own Watford
Oh.
podcast, please?
Bastard.
I'm not sure how much cross interest there is between SMK players and Watford.
Loads, mate. Loads, I
Huge.
can guarantee
It's
it.
huge.
Okay.
Sargot, I'm telling you, if it would be a Venn diagram, it would be just one circle.
Right, yeah. Okay.
What's a Watford?
That's
here
the
we go.
appropriate response. Yes.
Oh, you guys.
Can you milk it?
Well, I've been milking it for all it's worth for years, mate. So.
There's one more thing you can milk, Clark. Next
Yeah.
year, the time trial one try champion of the UK title.
I will be dining out on that one
As
for a
you
very
should.
long time. Yeah.
The American Super Mario Kart Championships, which was, I want to say 14 days ago.
Wow.
3 weeks actually.
Yeah, like 20 and change.
And we are here with the people who were there, people who arranged it and organized it, people who watched from afar. Is there another kind of person?
Not really.
Yeah.
The UK time trial champion.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
a
well,
different beast altogether, of course. Right.
In the
So,
flesh.
I mean, there are a lot of recaps and bilans roundabout. I think Carol just finished his novel today.
Nice bill, by the way, Carol. I enjoyed reading it.
Ah, cheers, man.
Is it possible to finish it in one day?
Sort of did. Writing it certainly wasn't possible in one day. It turned out.
I know that game.
Felt like a magnum opus.
right. So there's a lot of good info and GIFs and videos and everything in those. I haven't read all the bilans because my weekend only has 48 hours, but I'm sure there's tons of info there.
Well, the problem if you read Carol's bilan, you will never be able to start this episode. So
Right.
this is exactly why I haven't posted mine, because if you read both Carol's and mine, I think it's gonna last the entire week to read everything.
So the recap of the experience takes more time than the actual experience.
It actually takes more time than to drive across the entire Texas state, which means a lot.
Fucking Texas.
I warned the both of you guys. I warned you.
Goddamn fucking.
Okay, that needs to be part of the show. The inner workings of the Joe and Sarkov road trip.
Yeah.
I'm sure some stuff happened there. You guys still friends?
Oh yeah, whistle first. Yeah.
You tired of Dumb and Dumber quotes?
I'll just add a long silence after that question and see what.
Or a laughing track.
Yeah, how about it? No, Clark's good shit. We had a good time the entire time.
Yeah. It was all good bants, mate.
Oh yeah.
So that's all cool, but I just want to start off to recap the American Super Mario Kart Championships from the side of the organizers. So, Kyle and Matt, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, gosh. I don't even know about... Matt, you want to start?
Just aim at something. Just to try starting at the week leading up to it, and when it actually people start coming and stuff like that.
Well, we took pretty much the same approach that we have to school when we were students, and waited till the last minute to do everything. We get that cornered animal state of mind. It's down to the last wire. Oh shit, we got to get a lot of shit done, and we did. We had a surprising amount of help from Chris, who was hardly showed any interest at the beginning, but at the end, he just really pulled through and probably had more fun with the organizing process than Kyle or myself, actually. Yeah, just one highlight that was kind of building up to the tournament for us. I guess that kind of rekindled, a flame or whatever, was receiving Harvey's SNES in the mail along with a handwritten letter that was in cursive, which I thought was pretty charming. But yeah, just getting that in the mail just kind of, fueled the flames a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, that would spike anyone's enthusiasm. Seems like there's an absurd amount of letters going from Harvey to people around the world.
Yeah. I've had one.
Right, because of your bottle cap collection or something?
Yeah, I got one from him, yeah. And a handwritten letter from that, which I still have somewhere.
I mean, that's probably the sign you've done something in the community, huh? Getting a letter from Harvey?
Exactly, yeah.
Guillaume got one as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a letter as well from Harvey?
From Harvey, yeah, but it was years ago actually. It was because I had his Super NES modified by FF6man, and so he sent it to me actually with a letter saying he was hoping everything was going to be okay, and saying he was going to pray God every day to make sure it's going to be back soon, something like this.
Every day, huh?
Yeah, every day. I think every single hour on Earth actually.
Right, because, yeah, God only works one day at a time. You heard it here first.
Totally.
Well, I didn't want to procrastinate. Those kind of things just kind of happen. But I was making all kinds of timelines and trying to get people on the same page and getting volunteers and whatnot together. But it seemed like towards the last 2 weeks, a lot of the volunteers had different, I guess, priorities come up. Like some of them just a day or two before the event, some of them a week before the event. Like Vampire FF, it was like her first time to see her dad in like 2 years.
No.
I'm like, all right, go see your dad. And then Ben had some other personal stuff that came up 2 days right before.
Could you just hold on a little bit, Kyle? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very sad to hear that Vampire FF couldn't make it, because I forgot all about that during ASC, but in the weeks leading up to it.
She did get a show up on Saturday a little bit, so she got to say hey to some people, and she had her fangs in. I don't know if you got to talk to her, you'd see her fangs. But
So,
yeah,
who got
she
autographs?
kinda had fun
Who got selfies with Vampire FF?
Who was Vampire FF?
Vampire.
He was, she was the, I guess, shorter. I don't know how to say it.
Shorter?
Yeah, she was a shorter girl, short black hair, fangs.
Well, certainly not shorter than FF6 man.
Oh yeah,
She was there.
Yeah,
What?
she was there. She was there. She was hanging out, kind of in the back with more of the spectators that weren't really spectating, much, hanging out.
Can I just say I did not see the fangs, but I instantly knew who she was.
All right, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's gotta be Vampire FF. There's no other way about it. And yes, it was.
I have no idea who you were talking about.
Me too.
I can't remember who this is. I was just too, I don't know, encapsulated with the whole event to notice, I imagine.
She was she's kind of shy, so she actually came to the house party afterwards, and I was kind of keeping her company because I don't know, she's not super social. So if you noticed a shy short girl I was standing next to, that would be her.
Well, Clark, in your defense, there was pizza.
Yes, there was pizza and beer. So
I guess I took priority for both of us.
I just, even if I didn't know who she was, I would have liked to say hello, but I missed that opportunity apparently.
She was the reason I wanted to go. Anyway, Kyle, I'll stop the derailment. You can continue your story.
Yeah, I tried to get her out to introduce her and be like, come hang out, but no, she was just being super shy. But our sound guy, Tony, came up and hooked everything up and did a real good job with the sound, and was kind of bored most of the day because there wasn't too much to do. Tony Baloney, he was in a band that actually Matt and I were in years ago, and I stayed in the band a lot longer, and we played all around North Louisiana. The band's name was Shepherd's Pie. Delicious band. Kind of a eclectic mix of, classic rock and jazzy and hard rock, and I don't know, more easygoing stuff, just a mix. So we said shepherd's pie was a good name. Now I'm derailing myself.
No,
What-
that's
what
fine.
else is going on?
I just want Joe to, or Carol in post, to get the Seinfeld Tony reference in here.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
With pretty boy Tony.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's nice. Listen to this.
Nice. But he had a good time. His brother came. No, Tony's brother didn't come. Matt's brother came, and Matt's brother hung out with Tony. They were friends in high school, so they hung out and kept each other company. Like Matt was saying, my brother really pulled a whole bunch of stuff together at the last minute. So I was saying with planning, I was trying to delegate a bunch of tasks, and I got to say I wasn't super confident with where they kind of how do I say this, with how I perceive them to be at, like, say with the brackets. So I'm like, all right, Chris, you're over the brackets, you got it right. He's like, oh yeah, I got it, no problem. Like, so you know what all this entails, right? Yeah, I got it. And then it's a mad scramble the day of time trials. That was could have been worse, but it all came together well enough. And another derailment, speaking of getting all these time trials in, so far I've spent I haven't had much time over the past 3 weeks. So Matt and I went to Big Bend, Texas, which was an awesome trip, beautiful starry night, moving Ben's furniture over there from Monroe. And just last night, the office I work in caught on fire. And so I've been moving stuff. I was literally running into a collapsing building, like getting my hard drives and stuff last night.
Oh, damn.
Jesus.
I was a little tipsy from the poker game we were playing, which I won $12. That was nice.
Nice. Cha-ching.
Yeah. The day before.
That seems negligible in the thing of burning.
Oh yeah. It's a law office, so.
Mate.
All right, fair enough.
It's a law office, so we're not going to sue ourselves, I guess. I will find somebody else too. And then that day, yesterday, before all that happened, I drove down to like 7-hour round trip to go to like a libertarian party meeting, which took most of the day. So I was super tired. And then for the past week since the tournament, our office has been swamped because the attorney I work for just got 180 new clients, like all at the same time the month before. But the good news is that some of the ASMKC or ASC, whatever you want to call it, was I got all that stuff scanned at the office and I got it all saved. So I just got to put it all back together now. And the other stuff I worked on the other night, it's on Matt's computer here, so that's getting together. All right, so back from the derailment to the tournament. Yeah, a lot of it came together last minute. A lot of it was done way beforehand, like the venue. The medals came together last minute, but they turned out really well, I guess, for what they are. I think everybody's happy with those. I'm sure Mario was really happy with the sack of money. I'm curious how much money was in there, Mario. Did you ever count all that?
He fucking loved that thing.
I've counted everything.
I was thinking that would be a first place. Pick, but because I had no idea. It's just a big, heavy sack of money.
No, I've already counted everything. There was more than $100 actually inside.
Oh wow!
You missed out, Carol.
I have to say,
Carol
I was the only person that got the pick before Antistar, and I only had hand luggage, and I was already maxed out on hand luggage, and the bag was very heavy. So was the Zelda book actually in the end, which I picked instead, but I left it at the Kartel place, so they can bring it with them next time.
Yeah, now we have no excuse not to come. We got to give you your book back.
Little failsafe.
But what else came together? So the tournament brackets. Yeah, I was kind of scrambling back into the office to get the exact number of people to go into the brackets because these things were just printed out. And originally I was thinking that Chris would be able to, we'd print off a 16-person triple elimination bracket. If more people came in, you can kind of tell them in on the backside, or less than 16 people were there. You can cut off the spots and people get buy-ins that way. But I don't think he was prepared for that like I thought he said he was. So I was running to my law office and printing off papers quickly, and we went to the grocery store like the day or two before to get a whole bunch of food for the house and drinks and beer. And Chris actually took care of those kegs, which he pulled that out pretty clutch last minute as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And,
they were nice kegs. Yeah.
Ben was going to be, I was hoping he'd be over the stream and also be helping with the brackets, but, of course he couldn't come. He was also going to play an epic American anthem solo before the tournament started, but fortunately he couldn't come. So Chris had all that to do by himself, and he pulled the stream out pretty clutch with your help, Carl. And then from there, it was just like I was incredibly nervous beforehand, nervous, anxious, excited. I don't know. Those emotions are all kind of the same or similar. But so if not a lot of people came, it'd be like, all right, that's a relief because this will be more manageable. If a lot of people came, it's like, all right, that's a relief. We're not going to be out so much money. So I was going to be happy either way, but I just wanted everyone else to have a good time. And I believe everyone else did, so I'm happy because I believe everybody else was happy.
Can I just stop you there? Because this seems like a good moment to take a break. I don't mean that, but to stop the story and to hear from the other guys and the other perspectives at the time. Because now we're sort of in the first day, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. So for me personally, I was not there, so I couldn't meet Vampire FF or, play SMK. So I had to watch the stream, which at first was how do I put this? Basic.
That's a very polite way to do it.
Here, can I hop in here for 2 seconds?
Sure.
So, because I was hoping that Ben would be over the stream, I kind of had my hands up in the air, and I was like, all right, I guess we're not going to have a stream. Or, all right, so for at the very least, we'll have Matt's brother Adam just walk around with Twitch Live, and that was going to be our total fallback. So I'm glad that didn't have to happen.
Yeah. There was a stream, so that was sort of my initial reaction is relief. Okay, so it did come to fruition. It does have people are there. We are going to see something on Twitch. That was all good. There was no commentary. There was no names. There were no scores. There were no information on the modes. There was a banter in Twitch chat, and then there was background noise, which actually meant we heard the competitors very well. But yeah,
can I just jump in and say I think that the microphone on the webcam thing. Why has that not been done before at any CDM? Because that was brilliant. Looking back at some of those videos from it, they're so good to watch because you're hearing the players' reaction. It's brilliant.
Oh, what a nana!
What a nana! Yeah, yeah. Total disbelief on my part that Eric done that on me. But yeah,
no, you're right, Clark. The house mic is a very good touch, but usually those types of microphones won't pick up voices very clearly. It'll just be a lot of room noise. You cannot make out a conversation very well. But somehow on this particular one, it worked well. So the lack of commentary wasn't that bad if you had talkative players. It was actually quite interesting. So for CDM, it could be a great idea to have that when there is no commentary.
For sure.
We definitely should do it.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay, so Carol, Antistar, Joe, Clark, any of you want to share the first, feeling when you get in the room and you start to get ready for a time trial?
I'll start, I guess.
Yeah.
So I know when I first got to the event, I pretty much just threw my bag down and said, "Oh, thank God, we're finally fucking here." It was just overwhelming how much of a disaster the first day was for our trip. At least for me specifically. I think everybody else had an alright time, but it was just a lot of driving. It was a lot of just like, man, we gotta get there. And then, in the morning it was, I think, 10:45 or 11 o'clock. We just walk in. I was just like, finally, we fucking got it. And I could just relax for like, I think 12 minutes. And then I was thrown right into time trials immediately. So I was like, man, okay, yeah, I'm going in super cold, but we'll just have fun, see what happens.
This was so relieving, actually.
You want to expand on that?
Just having a piss or something?
I just want to say it was extremely relieving. Even if we spent in 2 days 21 hours sitting down in a car, it was extremely exhausting, actually, to stay in a car for so long. So when we finally arrived, it was I think it was as much relieving as if I had won a mod, actually. Just like, wow, I fucking done it. Just being here, being here was a victory, actually.
Yeah.
So,
I must admit though, from like my initial reaction when walking in after you sort of said your hellos and everything, was that it felt very sort of similar to any other kart event I've been to. Like it had that feel to it immediately, which was nice. Yeah, it didn't feel different or like, it just felt like, oh hey, we're doing a sort of a CDM in America, which I think is testament to the guys who organised it, really.
Yeah, that's a great thing to hear, actually.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere was similar, then I take it.
Yeah, this is exactly the same reaction I had when I entered the room. Well, the first thing I experienced was just looking at Kartel's reaction, actually. But then I just saw all the TVs and the people working around the TV set, the SNES systems and stuff like that. And it looked like a CDM so much, just like a smaller size CDM, but it really, really looked like a CDM. This is probably the most surprising thing I've experienced, because I was expecting the guys there to do very good work, but not that good, actually. This is something I'm gonna develop a lot of in my bilan, but this really, really, really was a huge surprise when I arrived, because it looked so familiar. Actually, I didn't know what I was gonna face when I was gonna arrive in the venue, and well, it was just like everything I had experienced before. So it was really cool, because this helps you to feel very comfortable at the exact moment you arrive. And I must thank a lot the Kartel and the guys who were there to set up the things that well.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I really appreciate that, Mario. And
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Also, to touch back on Harvey's letter and how I was surprised that it was in cursive, because you don't really see that much anymore over here. But we did get your your letter in the mail a few days ago, and to our surprise, it was also in cursive. Very impressive, really sweet, and it really tugged on our heartstrings. Like, I really appreciate that letter. It's very sweet.
Yeah. I also got one as well, which I really appreciated, which is on my fridge now from Marion. Yeah, so everyone got letters. It was good.
Yeah, and also, Mario, your letter is on the fridge next to Harvey.
After we deciphered your cursive.
Okay, I need 30 seconds of derailment here. So, is cursive not a thing in America?
Not anymore.
It is. Yeah, it's not. It's something that everyone learns in, I don't know, the first, second grade or something, third grade. More like first or second grade, I'm sure. But then everyone stops using it because everyone's cursive is so sloppy that I mean, if you're a doctor, yeah, and no one can read your handwriting anyways. But yeah, so no one uses it so much, especially if you want it to be read easily.
So penmanship is dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, completely.
All right.
You really only learn it. Yeah, you really only learn to use cursive to sign your name on like debit charges, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. The rest is keyboards.
Yeah, keyboards have taken over.
Yeah, and just normal, print.
All right, back on track. Carol, you're awkwardly quiet. We're talking about how it felt when you first entered the room for time trial.
Yeah. Well, I got there before the setup was finished, but so I helped around hooking up SNESes and stuff. But the venue itself, the office building, was actually quite surprising. I was expecting like an abandoned office, more like, but it felt like a swanky office with like indoor foliage and stuff. like really upscale. And the room we had was not huge, but big enough for the small group that we had. Also, the AC worked fine, even a bit too much at times. So
That's important.
Yeah, it could get quite cold in there.
Like all in all, it was a perfect venue for the first edition of the ASMKC, I would say. And I also have to say, like Kyle already mentioned earlier, that Chris Randall truly was the Patrick of the event.
Totally.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Setting up the stream, doing the brackets, keeping the scores. And he seemed to be enjoying himself doing it. So, he was one of the heroes of the event for sure.
The American vessels, huh?
Indeed.
Certainly. Yeah.
What we were lacking, actually, was your presence, Sargoth, because you would have been the commentator. That was what.
Yeah.
Or like manager of information on the stream.
Right, because that was lacking, especially at first. But I'm not gonna do only criticism. But at first, like I said, the fact that there was a stream was kind of good enough.
Exactly.
But beyond that, I kind of wanted to know who's playing which mode, what's the score, what's the format. But I mean, it works, and it got better quickly. Anyway, so do you have some more, Carol, or do we want to continue the proceedings?
Continue.
Matt, you want to talk about the modes? I was kind of just... It's hard for me to say much else than I was running in between games and running back to Chris to make sure everything was moving smoothly, because my general role that I kind of gave for myself was, I guess, director or something. So I was just trying to make sure everything was going as smoothly as possible. So it's hard for me to even recognize what was going on. So, Matt, you want to talk about time trial and match race?
So time trials lasted longer than it should have. I think everyone was aware of that. I'm assuming at CDM that Patrick has some kind of Excel spreadsheet that he's using that he can just punch the times into when people come up to him and, I guess turn in their time.
It's like an app we use now, isn't it? You can type it in on your phone, can't you? And then press send.
Yeah, well, I figured, he's obviously not doing it manually. There's just so many people, and that would take forever.
That is correct.
Yeah, we decided that we could do the, just calculate everyone's times manually with our phones or calculators or whatever. Since there's not so many people participating, it won't take very long. It'll be easy. Well, we were wrong. I think we overcomplicated it probably, but it took longer than we thought it would. But it worked, and we had several people checking, hey, is this right? Everyone was double checking each other's work, and finally we did ultimately find like an app for the phone that we could have been using the whole time. But yeah, that just goes back to us not planning as thoroughly as we should have, since we did so much last minute. But whatever, it worked out. So yeah, time trials lasted longer than it should have, obviously. And just like CDM last year, Sammy was kind of out of it early on, which, my heart definitely went out to the guy, because he's arguably one of the, best one-time trial players.
No, he's a noob, mate. He's a proper noob.
We triple checked his time. We're like, this is no way this happened. But yeah, him and Layla, unfortunately, kind of got scrubbed really early in trials.
Yeah, and Layla, being Sammy's niece, she's also exceptionally well, in my opinion, with the one trials, one time trials. So kind of surprised to see both of those guys knocked out as early as they were, which I guess that improved my chances of getting a medal, obviously. But I totally bombed out. I can't even remember which two courses I bombed out on, but I missed the Zoom start on one of them. And yeah,
it was MC2 and MC3.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I completely missed the Zoom start on MC2 and just butchered MC3. And
we're trying to go for pipe boosts.
Yeah. I did. I mean, to me, that's the strat that I'm used to doing, and for me to not do that would have been riskier. Actually, when I started out the course, I wasn't doing pipe boost, but since I messed up, because I'm not used to the quote normal strategy anymore, that I started doing pipe boost at the end, and I should have done that from the start. But whatever. Yeah, ultimately, just boils down to me not making enough time for practice. But I'm hoping that at some point I'll get tired of coming to these tournaments and just, fucking losing hardcore. Don't get me wrong, I'm still having fun. I'm still having a blast, but obviously you're having that much more fun if you're winning, I think. Right, guys?
Well, I don't know why I keep going back. Then it certainly isn't to win for me anyway, because there's no way I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But
You have a UK title to defend now, though.
That's true.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I need to go back. There's a reason to go back and claim that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we obviously modeled some of the tournament, some basic things after CDM, but for the most part, or maybe not even for the most part, but we did want to have like subtle differences between the two events. And one of them that we all agreed on was, that the time trials final shouldn't be decided on just one course. So I thought that was a nice twist, having them run two courses versus just one.
That's a conversation that's been going for a while. So, how do you guys feel about that change to, as you have been at many CDMs, like Antistar? What's your feeling on that?
No, this is not. This is a change I've already experienced in the past, not as a player, but it already happened once. This is not my favorite way to play time trial in the end, but it proved to be kind of spectacular this time. So I think I think it can be okay from time to time. This time, I think the only thing which is a bit weird is the fact you're not playing at the same time, and being totally isolated and waiting for the other player to have played is something a bit weird, which is something that used to happen in the first CDFs, and I already said CDFs on purpose, not CDMs, because there was I think a toss to see who was playing first, and having one of the players waiting in the spare room for the other to perform his race. It's kind of exciting, actually. It still feels weird, but I don't think this is a bad solution. I'm not totally for it, but I'm not against it anymore. If this can be a proper answer to your question.
It can be.
Because I didn't know actually what system was going to be used before I arrived. To be really honest, my only goal was to be here, and I almost failed this initial goal. So when I arrived, I absolutely didn't care about the way the championship was going to happen. All I wanted to do was to see the people, to chat with them, to enjoy myself. And well, playing SMK was absolutely my weakest concern of all. So when I managed to get to the final, which actually was very unexpected for me, and when I realized that we had to play it this way, I told myself, well, I don't give a fuck, let's do it. That's all.
Well, I gotta say, we appreciate the low expectations because it made them really easy to be met. So thank you.
I knew the system for the group stages. Well, those were not really group stages actually, but I knew the system was going to be a bit different. But I absolutely didn't care because I thought this was your way to do it. This was the American Championship, so we had to do it the American way. So I had absolutely nothing to do but just experience the way you guys designed it. So it went really, really well. So I don't think we've faced any trouble during the whole weekend with the schedule and with the ASMKC system. So if you don't face any kind of trouble in 2 days, it means it's okay, and that's all.
I don't even feel good mentioning this, but there's in my head, I'm working out ways to refine time trials to keep it more to a triple elimination bracket type system, but I haven't really talked it over with anybody.
For time trial.
But with time trials. So, but I've just been mulling it over in my head, and I don't really feel comfortable talking about it right now. but I am talking about it right now, apparently. But whenever it was happening, I could see just so many ways that it could be improved and go smoother overall, and be more in the triple elimination fashion rather than the standard time trial fashion. But I'm just saying this because it's something that I was thinking about as it's happening. I could see how it could work. But I haven't talked about this with anybody, so I'll just leave it at that, and we'll leave it a mystery for now.
It's funny when you say there are so many ways to improve it, because every time a CDM ends, the FFSMK people, the guys who deal with the organization, always say the same sentence. We see a lot of things that can be improved. Even if things are going pretty well, you see a lot of things that can be improved. And when it comes to the SMKC organization, I really see very few things to improve, actually. Well, perhaps it's because we were only 16 people our weekend round. Perhaps if we were 40 or 50 people, things would be different. But when you have some kind of small size tournament like this, I think this system is exactly what needed to be done. So, of course, you can improve a couple of things, but not that much, in my opinion. It was very, pretty well done.
I echo that sentiment completely.
Well, we always agree, Carol, so it's no surprise. Well, so that's all. We don't have anything anymore to say. That's a bit sad.
That was a good episode, guys.
Well done. See you later.
Yeah. Matt is stuffed out. I guess he's going to come right back in a second, but yeah.
Well, I can come in with an observation from my time in America, and from someone who's an avid tea drinker.
Come on. I'm drinking tea right now, by the way.
Oh, good man. But from one thing I've noticed is that everyone else, apart from Joe, doesn't have a fucking kettle. Nobody has a kettle in America. Literally nobody. Like
actually, Joe bought one for you. Actually,
did you?
No.
Oh.
But the story would have been funnier if I said yes.
Just kidding.
I would have been touched. But
I
yeah,
bought it
like
for Vanessa,
hotel...
who obviously lives with me, and she's a tea drinker as well, so it just made sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But like, so the hotel in Vegas, I had to make a cup of tea by just running hot water through a coffee machine, so it tasted weird. And then
drinking tea in Vegas.
Well, I'd bring my own tea. I'd bring my own tea back. Then when I was at Joe's parents', I had to put a cup in the microwave, which is very strange.
Yeah.
And then at Matt's, I had to boil it on the hob in a saucepan. So it was fun times being a tea drinker in America, but we always find a way to get our brew. So.
Wow, these first world issues, huh?
I know.
It was funny. As soon as Sammy and Layla got in, they went to the hotel. They were telling us all about, because they were asking them, just quizzing them about how to make tea, where they could get tea. And then later that next day, I took them to downtown Monroe to a tea shop, and they were in there for like an hour looking at different kinds of teas. They bought like 6 or 7 kinds of teas for their family and stuff. They were just having the best time at just looking at tea.
This is it. This is what Brits do. I even made a like. Your brother Chris, he asked for a couple, and I was making one. He's like, "Oh, you're making tea? I'll have one as well." And he was bemused when I put milk in it. When I was asking for the milk, I was like, "Yes, this is how everyone in England has tea. You have milk in your tea." And but he liked it. I think he enjoyed it. But
yeah. Apparently Layla just hates Earl Grey. But if I have Earl Grey, I like a little bit of milk in it. But for the most part, no milk in my tea.
No. You're wrong, but whatever.
yeah, I know.
There's a Norwegian saying that goes, "No, thank you, no animal secretions in my drink."
No animal secretions. So no cow jizz in your tea.
Yeah, for instance, I'll take some moonshine in my tea, but that's about it.
Also, no Clark juice in your tea.
Yes, that goes without saying. That's also animalistic.
Wow.
What's Clark juice?
Oh no! Don't open
Nope,
that
nope,
can of
nope,
worms.
nope.
Let's,
Well, I could go into detail if you like.
let's move on with the. I'm not sure we want to do every mode in the rundown, but so can you guys, Kyle and Matt, talk a bit about what happens next once the first mode is done and things are starting to move along? Maybe end of the first day.
Yeah, so unlike CDM, there's not really much downtime between modes, obviously, because CDM, each mode has its own day. Here, we're squeezing in 2 modes in one day, so it's not like, we get to take like a big break or anything, which actually the first day we kind of did because, the pizza got there a little later than expected, and it took us longer to tally up the time. So I guess in a sense everyone did get a break between time trials and match race. But yeah, so I guess there was kind of a break there. But yeah, we just, after everyone stuffed their face with pizza and some drinks.
Really nice pizza as well.
Oh, thank you.
That's a local pizza.
Yeah, local pizza place.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And yeah, so we just kind of jumped right into match race. And I guess that's when the triple elimination stuff really kicked in.
So Ben was originally going to be over the brackets, and like I said, he couldn't make it and do it and whatnot. But he had one major worry, and that was the person who doesn't lose at all. They're going to play about 5 games and then have to wait around for people to come up through these losers brackets to play. So who was leading on match race that first day?
Carol, wasn't it? Carol was smashing
No,
it.
I got
Carl,
sent to lower bracket by Antistar.
No, I won actually all my matches first.
Okay.
And, I realized, and this is the moment I realized how this bracket system worked, because I won 3 or 4 matches in a row, and then I stopped playing for 3 days or something like that. It was extremely weird because
that was the
I
major
didn't
worry.
Yeah, I didn't know I was not gonna play for so long after that. So it was funny because I could watch everyone playing and take photos for the Twitter account. So it was funny, but I really think that when I had to play again, and I think I faced Carol at that moment, or Sammy, maybe don't remember. I was totally cold, and it was really, really hard to get back to SMK at that moment. So this is perhaps the only part of the system that might be a bit weak, because if you win all your matches at the top of the bracket, then you absolutely don't play for a very long time, and it can be a huge disadvantage. But well, perhaps it's a disadvantage that's designed on purpose for the big guys. So I'm not complaining anyway. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so that was the thing we were kind of worried about, and I guess it's a mixed bag because, say, if you win a lot, you have this downtime where I guess you can watch other matches, relax, warm up, practice by yourself, while everyone else is busy catching up. So it's a mixed bag, but that was really our main concern with triple elimination was whoever was in first. They win their first 5 matches or so, they have to wait around for somebody to come up through the losers bracket, and then there'll be essentially more waiting for somebody to come up through the second losers bracket. But it ended up working out okay, especially whenever there's just 16 people there in that triple elimination mode. Yeah, and speaking on that subject, whenever we were mulling this stuff over towards the end, whenever Ben, when he was over the brackets, was really finding out more of the finer details of things that could go wrong, and he pointed this out. And it was kind of, in my head, a little too late to change much anything. Next year, see, one of the issues that I guess I had and some of us had with what we were going for was faster and cutthroat, get 2 modes done in a day. Those were like kind of the top priorities for the field and the goal. But I guess stupid of me, I didn't realize, I didn't come to the realization that with a barrage, you can make it as short or as long as you want. So for next year, I don't want to say anything final, but I'm kind of leaning towards and assuming that there'll be a barrage which could be as short as we want, really. and then go into the triple elimination kind of top 16 deal from there. And then we can still have 2 modes done in a day and get it all done quickly and still have that cutthroat feel. But that's what one of those refinements that you come to realize after this the run of the tournament, and you kind of see what flows, what doesn't flow, and how it works.
Oh yeah, totally. You need to experience it, because otherwise you absolutely have no idea of how it can work. But I'm saying it again. It wasn't a problem for me in terms of having a good time at all. I really had a good time because I could watch everyone playing, which was really, really entertaining. And especially when you try to live tweet the event, it's really nice to have that kind of a break. It's just a problem in terms of concentration and driving skills, I think. But well, it's also perhaps because I'm not good enough at getting concentrated all event long, which is something that Sammy and Karel don't have to cope with.
Yeah, we should have informed, I guess, all the top players that of the situation of you being in first at the beginning and then having to wait like over an hour before you have to play again. Obviously, had you known that was going to be the case, you could have gotten some practice in. So sorry for not telling you that in advance.
Oh yeah, but I think if you're wrong first, it's because during this specific phase, it means you're the best, and if you're the best, you're supposed to rock after the break. So I didn't, so it meant I wasn't the best, and I didn't even deserve to win all my matches. So it was mérité, like we say in France.
To be fair, Antistar, to you,
yeah.
I watched our match back, like the one where you got sent to the lower bracket,
mm-hmm.
and you were really unlucky. You kept getting ghosted in second, and in the match against, because it went to 5-4, so it was really close too.
Actually,
then in the match against Sami, again, so both matches were really close. The 2 matches you lost.
I think when it comes to NTSC, I have a very Karel-esque luck, I think. You are much luckier on NTSC than on PAL, and I'm less lucky in NTSC than in PAL. It's very fun.
I mean, what can I tell you? It's God's version.
You just say this because it's Harvey's native version.
I think
the PAL version is. I wouldn't say this is a devil's version, but well, I understand your point of view on this. And NTS is, of course, better on many points, but well, this
is the devil.
Yeah, perhaps this is the one I have the overall gold standard times on it, and not on Paul, perhaps.
Well, I think it's funny and ironic that Karel refers to the NTSC version and God's version, and lo and behold, the streaming SNES and cartridge were both Harvey's. So we're streaming God's version of the game.
Yeah.
Blessed by Harvey.
We are playing on
one of God's chosen what?
Yeah, we are just playing on some God material, so not a surprise.
I know I felt the Holy Spirit every time I was on stream.
Yeah.
I hope those controllers were never skip marked.
Oh, don't.
We'll get into the miscellaneous. Anyway, so I want to be a douchebag for a moment, which may not be a change, I realize.
Yeah.
Whenever I have had the NLG stuff, like 07, 08, 10, 12s, and we did something in 15, Carol? 16?
We did?
Memorable then.
Yeah,
this is going great.
Kartmentia, sorry, Kartmentia.
Right. No, you and Carol came over, you and Patrick came over, and we did the retro.
Oh, yes.
Right. So what I want to say here is in regard to the triple elimination, the different system of ASC compared to CDM. Whenever I've done a new system for NLG, I have done the very, very boring thing of gathering a bunch of inbred friends who don't play just to sort of block out the situation when you go through the motions, because when you just write it down on paper, in theory, yeah, triple elimination is going to be like this, going to be like this. But it's only when you actually do it, and it doesn't matter with whom, it could be anyone, really, then you start to see the kinks of the system, like the hour wait for Antistar or whatever. So I always done, usually with Ulf and a couple of friends, we do 2 days of just very monotonous testing to see if the format works. It's like... what the hell is the English word? When you're writing some piece of paper you need to deliver for college or whatever, you type out like before you write
a rough
the
draft.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is so boring, and I never do it. But but for these kind of events, I have to be the douchebag and kind of take a little nod towards the rough draft, because it really does help you see things you wouldn't otherwise realize.
Yeah, and we've done that to an extent in the past, like little mini tournaments at our house, triple elimination with like 7 people, but this was 16 people and everything the way it was. Yeah, we didn't I don't know what you call it, dress rehearsal it as thoroughly as we should have, for sure, absolutely. Like I'm with you there.
It is hard to do, but it's well worth it, I find. I've found some magnificent flaws through the years, just trying stuff and seeing it. Well, I really didn't think about that. This has to change.
The Grand Prix day. That was.
Yeah, let's go on to day 2.
We're skipping over the marvelous evening of day 1, though.
Oh, sorry, the non-card part.
The after party.
And the most marvelous evening was day 2, actually.
We've never had that many people in our house before. So where we live at now, it's like 5 or 6 bedrooms. So the reason we had this awesome house is this was actually my parents' old house, and they moved into their parents' old house. They my grandparents passed away, so they're in their house now, and so they're renting this house to this awesome, huge house to us for really cheap. So. And all the years that they've lived here, since I was 7 years old living here, I don't know that there's ever been that many people in this house. This entire place was just packed. And other people are coming through the door. I'm being introduced to people I don't know in my house. And we got 2 carts going. And everyone's kind of like off in their own groups and then mingling. And Martin's doing what Martin does, just juggling and throwing cards and balancing things on his head. And then there's like a different party going on in the garage. And like, I don't know. Matt, do you have anything you want to say about the after party?
Well, it wasn't until the after party that I truly realized how tired Joe, Zarkov, and Mario were. And Joe's girlfriend. Like, those guys just look fucking rough, like...
That was a long day.
Like you guys still had fun. I think Zarkov might have chose the best sleeping place in the laundry room. He had
well glad I got that pointed out to me. That was a godsend.
Yeah, he could shut the door, turn the lights off, and kind of exit the party if he wanted to. But everyone else was just kind of at the mercy of the party. The party was just pretty much the entire house, with the exception of the laundry room. So, yeah. But no, it was just really awesome just having all these people that I have met, but, in Europe, at my house, and meeting Joe for the first time. And, having Andrew Colts was also there. He came and stayed at the house. Nathan Stinson was here for a minute too. It was just really cool, just seeing all these familiar faces and faces that I've never seen before, just all under one roof. And the roof just happened to be the house that I live in.
The tournament was just the right size, and everybody was familiar enough with everyone so that whenever all the medals were handed out, I could confidently invite everybody at the tournament over to my house. So that was nice.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Can I just return to the day 2 tournament for like one more moment? Sure. I wanted to say that it was really cool that you guys thought to have a personal jingle or like a potential victor in mind. Like when I won the match race medal, the gold medal, instantly the Karthritis tune started blasting through the speakers, which was just totally awesome.
Actually picked that up on stream.
Yeah, we thought that was a lot of fun. I don't know how many people noticed, but we had the Godfather theme playing whenever Sammy won.
Oh, and if Drew, we had a man. I was really hoping Drew would. Drew did take battle mode, so
He did, yeah.
whenever Drew Rule American, I don't know if anyone noticed that one, but that was my personal favorite there.
We definitely noticed.
I noticed, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good. I wanted them to play that one extra loud.
So what was Clark's theme if you won something? The Watford song?
The Watford song, sung by Elton John or George Michael.
Right.
Careless Whisper? Really? So what was Antistar's going to be? Actually, I'm curious about that one.
Mario's was going to be a song called Mario Minor, played by a metal band Power Glove.
I think my victory song should be "Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer. And you guys know why.
We'll take a note.
Anyway, I think this is a great idea, and I think we immediately implement it for the next CDM.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good touch.
Actually, what inspired it was Sammy winning Grand Prix last year at CDM, and then playing the Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
Yeah, that was a super nice touch. And was that strictly the venue that came up with that?
I don't recall.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, I was under the impression. I think someone told me that the guys at the venue just threw that.
Well, yeah, they definitely did, but how could they know that Sammy had this touch with, or this connection with the song that he does have? I think someone must have told them.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, that couldn't have been coincidence. And just, God, seeing Sammy jump up and he threw like a few punches.
I suspect it was Sophie who was behind the scenes here. But I don't know. I'll ask. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sophie.
What needs to happen though is to pick something for Scout B, and I suggest Flight of the Bumblebee.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Perfect. Sold.
Right. Did we talk about day 2? Because did we? Because all I remember from day 2 is Grand Prix was looking to swallow the entire day, and match race being cancelled or battle mode being cancelled.
I would have been fine with that, by the way. Battle mode is not my cup of tea, so yeah.
No, do you play battle mode without items as well, Joe?
Yeah, I just race around the track.
Right.
I was racing like a champion in battle mode, but unfortunately, I was being taken out by red shells left and right. So yeah, my success
was playing battle mode a bit Fenner style actually.
Yeah.
I was really
compliment.
Impressed. Yes, it was. I was really impressed actually seeing Joe playing GP because everyone knows like Joe is a very, very good driver, and I thought that could make some kind of surprise in GP because I don't know if Joe, you had GP world records in the past or not.
Yeah, I had a few on the site. Yeah.
You had some, so which is not a surprise, and I was. I'm not gonna say I would have put money on you in GP, but I was expecting you to do something good in GP, and when I played against you, I was surprised because you were extremely consistent and decent, and you were not using any fucking items at all, which is something I absolutely didn't know. I wasn't prepared to this, and I don't remember if this Choke Island 2 race was against me or if I was a spectator.
I think it was. Yeah, I remember that.
It was against me, and so I was leading the race. You had a feather, and in my mind it was like, well, okay, you're screwed for this one. And so you entered the last lap without using your feather. At that moment, I told myself, what the fuck? It's Joe fucking Bernier. He knows the shortcut. He knows it.
Yeah,
why doesn't he use it?
Yeah.
So I know we're close friends, but come on the track, we're rivals. So you don't
I understand.
you don't have to give the race to me like this. This is what Carol is supposed to do, giving me races. This
What
is
a gift!
yeah,
What's a
totally.
gift?
Shots
And
fired.
I was extremely puzzled at that moment because
You actually yelled at me on stream. You're just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I probably said something like this, and in my mind I was like, "What the fuck is this just fair play or something like this?"
And
then-
what was your response, Joe?
I
Yes,
don't
well-
use items. So the
ready,
gentleman's
ready.
agreement that
Also
nobody
learned.
agreed to. Yeah.
Exactly.
when you say this to me, I really thought, "What the fuck is joking or what? Why?
well, no,
Just
it's-
why?"
I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just, I don't know. I don't have any
I know it's
expectations
gonna
to
be very
win.
hard.
So I don't really. I just want to drive fast. And I just want to have beers and just have conversations, and like playing
Can I
is
just
totally secondary for
segue
me.
into? Can I just segue into a little anecdote here?
Sure.
The first time Joe and me played online SMK many years ago. I think this
Yeah.
may have been 2006 or 2007.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Managed to hook up, and Joe was like adamant that we would not use items, so not use any items. Like, okay,
so-
that's fine. So we're not gonna play with any items. So I was chucking away my banana peels and whatnot, and accidentally one had landed on the track.
Uh-huh.
MP2. Joe proceeded to drive over it a lap later, and then instantly like start, give up, retry. Like, okay, we're not using items, okay? He just
like
broke the
my
rules.
control.
I didn't even want to throw the nanner on the track.
That's how that happens.
But Joe, honestly, imagine you have a lightning. What do? You don't even press A.
No, I would just keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a very fair play behavior, but it's well,
Stupid, I think is the word you're after.
no, I will never call Joe stupid because well, he was part of the dumb and dumber thing, so yeah, he was dumb. It was really dumb for him.
But you're not a stupid person if you have
No.
a stupid idea. Those things are separate.
True.
But anyway, there should be like a side tournament, a Joe % side tournament.
Joe percent.
I know.
This is an interesting one, having a GP tournament without using any items. I really
Pretty sure Mol is ready for it because he has actually dismantled his A button.
Yeah, that's true.
I would actually really like to attend a GP tournament without any items, because it is all about driving, and this is all about well, almost playing time trial, but face to face this time. So that's very, very interesting.
But I gotta say, so yeah, there are some strong drivers in the world, present company.
Yeah, and Joe is one.
Sure.
Thank you,
Yes,
yeah.
but I feel like people like I want to say Harold, Geo, and you, Antistar, are 1 inch of extra douchebag when it comes to body pushing and stuff like that.
It's the French tactics.
No, this is definitive French being a douche like this. I personally think that if I made it up to ASMKC, it's because I wanted to show some French pride at the event, because I knew Scoob was probably not going to make it. I knew Neo was not coming. I knew if I didn't do it, there would be no French players at all, and that would be a big shame, because we kind of invented the SMK Championships. So I think it would have been a bit ridiculous if none of us could do it, and especially because we indeed totally invented those really awful way to play SMK, like complete
Skank tactic.
to the infamous skank tactics indeed. And I was not a player like this when I started to play championships back in 2004. This is something that really started to come to my mind when I wanted to be a better multiplayer performer, because I was a time trial player. I was not. I was kind of good in GP when it came to drive, but I was only able to use shrooms and feathers on the Ghost Valleys, and that's all.
It's surprising
Well,
to me, actually, Guillaume, because
Yeah.
I thought the French were born with that.
Yeah, it seems so natural.
Well,
Yeah, it does.
perhaps I also have some kind of vice in my blood too, because when I started to realize that I could drive this way, and no, it's not even about driving, it's playing this way, because when you play SMK, you drive and you do bad stuff like this. So when I started to realize I could play SMK this way, I found it funny. I told myself, well, it's all about tactics. It's all about making the other player totally mad, and to put him on his nerves, to make him lose control, to make him lose patience. It's totally part of the SMK spirit. SMK is really a game of driving and fighting mixed together. And I think the best players in the world are the ones who master both. You have to be an excellent driver, and you have to be a complete asshole. So, if you're able to do two, you're gonna be one of the best in the world. And this is very funny to see that Sammy, as years were passing, finally went slightly able to behave like a total douche on the track. And I think he's very far from being the worst at this. Because
He
Sammy
is one of the worst sandbaggers out there, though.
Sammy is extremely awful to play against. Every single year I attend CDM, I just pray for not having to play Sammy in battle mode just because of this.
Oh yeah.
you totally understand what I'm talking about.
He will change his life to get the second place item.
Totally.
Yeah.
And,
Madness.
All right, let's do one last part of the story, and then do the miscellaneous questions afterwards. So, Kyle and Matt, can you just talk a little bit about what happens at the end when people start leaving? What happens that we don't see on stream?
Well, I guess after all the medals were given out, and Chris gave everybody their gold-plated Trump coin, or at least the top 12. Besides me, I opted out to not have one because Zarkov and Layla actually tied, which meant the top 11 got them. Oh, I'm sorry, Martin and Layla. Yeah, there's just, I don't know, a bit of cleaning up. Everybody, after everything was cleaned up, we came back to the house, and then, I don't know if it's becoming a tradition or something, but we watched some Fenner videos.
Oh, yeah.
And,
oh, shit.
played some
That was
drinking
highlight for
games.
me.
this was really one of the biggest loves of my whole life. And Carol, I've seen the GIF you made of it. Thanks a lot for making this totally immortal.
So I think Joe and his girlfriend were kind of speechless. Like, did y'all not know about this? Because it seemed like your mind was just completely blown by.
I had known about them, yes, but I never put myself through all of them before in one sitting. So
Yeah, you see, you need to be pushed by someone else to persevere through an entire video. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's definitely a strike against you. Strike.
I must admit, what's the video with him? Which I had tears in my eyes. It was so funny. It was when it just went from dark to light, and he just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the funniest
That's
thing. I've never
sad
seen
and
that before.
devastating news. A classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dave got started 1990.
Oh, that was. Yeah.
I believe I described it in my Bilan as follows: that Joe was just being a good boyfriend, not exposing Vanessa to the Fenner videos before.
yes, that's
But
definitely.
that had to come to an end. I'm sorry, buddy.
Joe was actually very, very kind when it came to Fenner. He was almost showing some mercy for Fenner. He was saying, "I'm sad for Fenner," or something like this.
Yeah.
It was very cute to hear you, Joe, being perhaps the only people within the SMK community not mocking Fenner at all.
Yeah.
Well, you were smiling. I saw you smiling at the videos, but not laughing as much as we were doing.
Yeah.
And Fenner, if you're listening, we love you and we want to see you at the tournaments.
Yeah, we need you.
1000%. I agree with that.
My ultimate Mario Kart dream is to watch a CDM or ASMKC match, whatever, between Fenner and Harvey. I think this is gonna be the best match
It's everyone's dream.
ever. And of course, this is gonna be on stream on God's SNES, of course. And I think there is
Grossness.
I think there is no Mario Kart match we can expect more than a Fenner versus Harvey match.
It's the dream, isn't it? One day
Agreed.
it will happen.
Will that finally trigger the rapture?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but if this ever happens, I think I will start to believe in God for real.
Oh, could you imagine?
This is exactly why this is not gonna happen, actually.
I guess long story short, and glossing over details. Yeah, we stayed up and drank drinking games to some YouTube videos, some awesome YouTube videos.
Can we please not gloss over your handstand tutorial?
Yeah, I was about to say that was a brilliant
wink.
So that's out there for everyone to see. If you want to learn how to do a professional handstand, Noble Phoenix YouTube channel. There's a lot of good videos on there. More to come when my computer's back up, and hopefully I'll be getting some recording of when we. So we talked to Harvey, and he's okay with us personally delivering his console back to him.
Wow.
So that'll be going on this next weekend.
Wait, personally?
Live stream this. Live stream
driving down the
this.
Gulf Shores.
Yeah. You're going to the Rapture porch.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're all gonna pray.
The Holy Garden.
And
Watch out for them sulfuric farts, mate.
Jesus.
Stay
I'm
away
really-
from the mattress.
Yeah, skid marks.
I'm really looking forward to bench pressing that vase.
Sorry to think about what Zarkov wrote on Harvey's poster again. Thanks for not cheating on Matt's bed. This is the best thing you could write on this poster.
Absolutely.
Joe's was very good too, but Zarkov's was absolutely awesome. Writing this on the poster for a guy who didn't go there and make him some kind of present, and the present says, "Thanks for not cheating on our beds." What the fuck?
That is going to be some momentous moment, though. If you when you meet Harvey, like I want that documented, immortalized somehow. Like, please film it, or
Yes,
just take
it has to be
pictures or
filmed.
stream it. Yeah.
A whole
It's
film
just a
crew should be
Drew
hired.
Alt. It's a Drew Alt. Come on.
We're gonna be as tactful as we can, record as much as we can. You know, we want to respect the guy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do what we can.
Imagine.
I don't know. Maybe we need some kind of gift. Maybe like.
So I decided to cut this potentially revealing information from the show. Don't hate me. Sorry.
Maybe like a Miss America DVD or something. I don't know.
Bring him a porn DVD.
A JCPenney magazine.
I think
He only has VHS. You'd have to bring him a porn VHS.
Oh yeah, and actually, I failed to mention this on the forums, but while we're still talking about Harvey, the Monday night after everyone had already left, Kartel and Martin were still here because they weren't leaving until Tuesday. Me, Martin, Eric, and Kartel were in my room, and we were smashing all the PRs on Harvey's cartridge. Yeah, so we completely destroyed all of Harvey's PRs, and Martin coined them Harvey R's, and later shortened it to H-R's. So Martin, myself, Eric, and Kartel have in our possession all the HRs.
Nice.
And Eric was doing his best redneck impression, and Kartel got a really big kick out of that. And actually, I got a really big kick out of hearing Karel's redneck impression, which was super hilarious. And apparently, Layla does a very good southern accent impression as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to hear that.
Yeah. So, two things. I guess first, yeah. So, whenever I was preparing for the tournament, hooking up TVs, getting everything all set up, I kind of just dropped off Sammy and Layla and kind of a antique. It's a place in West Monroe called Antique Alley. Just a whole bunch of local goods like obscure stuff, pawn shops, antique stores, that tea shop, costume shops, just interesting stores. And I dropped them off so they could shop around. And I was going to come back. And when they came back, Layla was just like, oh, everybody's just so surprised by my accent. Oh, where are you from, girl? And like, I started really liking the Southern accent, and she has an awesome Southern Belle accent impression that she wanted to take home, but she said her mom would kill her. And then Matt told me about Karel's impression, but he couldn't exactly do it right. So if I could request, Karel, can we get your best Southern voice impression?
I'm just gonna try and copy Eric as best I can. Like, my one-legged dog could do better than that.
Oh,
Yeah, that has some swamp to it.
Oh, thank you. Oh man, that just made my day.
But Eric's is a lot better though. I really want him to come on the show and do the voice properly, because I didn't really do it justice. Not quite yet.
But yeah, I guess that next morning, a lot of people were over at the house, you know, kind of sleeping a little late, and there were a bunch of heartfelt hugs and goodbyes, and we took an awesome group photo outside. And then some of you guys were on the road, and I was off to work early that morning. So that's the last I saw of everybody.
so we managed to get a picture of the Monroe mural. I don't know whereabouts in Monroe that was, but we all stopped to take a picture of that, didn't we?
Yeah, we had. We just happened to see this giant Monroe, Louisiana mural on the side of the road. I was like, all right, I'm turning around. We have to go take a picture of this.
It was beautiful. We had to do it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
This was
nice.
probably the first moment of my week when other people than me asked for pictures. So
Yeah, Guillaume's quite the tourist when it comes down to that, which
I was
is
a
fun.
total tourist.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I'm sorry, but I was on fucking holidays. I just wanted to enjoy my time in America. So
Sure.
Yeah.
and I enjoyed my time in America, especially when I drank some cognac in 2 a.m. in Texas.
Yeah, that's a
Which is
long
probably the less American thing I've done during all the week, but whatever.
Good
So
deal.
the conversation seems to be ebbing out a little bit.
Gone
Let's
down to banana bread.
let's go to the lightning round with the questions from the Karthritis public channel. These are very, very silly, but we'll try to answer them anyway. So I guess this is mostly for Kyle and Matt, unless otherwise stated. And they're all regarding ASC. First one will be one next year. I have a hunch.
So, I don't want to lead people on. I'm about at 90% sure there will be. So,
Yeah.
but I
Sorry.
don't want to say 100% because I don't want to lie to anybody.
The follow-up question to that is, will it be in Gasney?
That's
Let's
an
have a
awesome
poll on
question.
that. Let's have a poll on that.
Yeah. Poll ended.
I'm sure
Let's go with
Adrian.
Gasly.
I'm sure Adrian would be okay.
No, so it's looking to happen. Nothing went really bad behind the scenes that we don't know about. It was all a fairly big success, and you want to do it again?
Yeah, of course it was. You know, everyone had a great time, and that was priority number one. And yeah, before the tournament actually took off, like the days leading into it, I was like, man, there's no way in hell I'm doing this shit again, you know.
Yeah.
But and Kyle was actually kind of feeling that way too. You know,
Yeah.
it was you know, it was a lot of work. We probably could have been more responsible about it, and it wouldn't have been as stressful. So lessons learned, lots of lessons learned actually, and we know going into it next year, if we were to do it again next year, it would be a lot smoother, a lot easier. Me personally, I kind of flirted with the idea of having a NTSC championship in Japan next year, which obviously that wouldn't be a quote ASC tournament because it's in Japan, but
So it's
Yeah.
JSC.
JSC, yeah.
Or, you know, maybe having a tournament in Gulf Shores. Gulfport. I'm sorry. You know, play around.
Or in Charlotte, NC.
Charlotte's, yeah.
He still wouldn't show up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buses would be not working that day or something.
Right.
We wouldn't be able to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think having a championship in Japan someday is some kind of ultimate goal for the whole community.
Yeah,
But
I really
I-
like the idea, but it's super.
It's extremely early, I think. It's
Yeah.
extremely early.
Yeah.
I really think that ASMKC is something that needs to continue and needs to improve every year. And what we only missed during this first edition was perhaps more people, I think. It was really good in terms of atmosphere and making sure we could talk with each other to have so few people. But I think bigger ASMKC is something that should be expected for the upcoming years. And when there are as many people in the NTSC Championship as we have in the PAL one, I think we can regard them as totally equal in terms of
Prestige.
Of prestige, yeah. And then make the dream of the Japanese Championship real, to finally make the ultimate Super Mario Kart dream come true. But I think the American Championship totally needs to grow up, not in terms of quality, because it was very, very extremely well organized, as I said before. Just in terms of people attending, in terms of number of days. I think it requires to be an event that happens every year for maybe 3-4 years to be bigger and bigger, and to have two separate equal championships, then have this kind of major ultimate one. And I think if we can get a Japanese Super Mario Kart Championship, I think everyone has to do it, and after that we can all die, because we won't have anything more to do.
Maybe on Mars, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well said.
The final frontier.
Well, maybe at Drew's place, perhaps.
What I would really like, actually, is more NTSC native to show up next time. Like, I'm talking about Guillermo Arantes.
Yep.
I'm talking about Jamie White. I'm talking about Kart King. I'm talking about Garrow, Tyler Worley,
Tyler,
Brazilian and Canadian
Lafango,
Dave Smith,
double underscore.
or Dave Smith.
Dave Smith,
He had a
yeah.
good excuse, to be fair.
double underscore.
At least Dave Smith had an excuse.
Yeah.
Better than gardening?
Telephone call with Dave Smith.
Yeah, he actually called. Well, I called him and got him on the phone with Guillaume and Clark and. Is that it? Oh, Carol, you talked to him too.
I talked to him.
Yeah. That was
He
fun.
just woke up.
Yeah, it was like 11:30 in Louisiana, and he just woke up. So, at night, by the way, not in the morning.
Solid.
May have had a few beers.
maybe. Yeah. So that was a fun time.
This was supposed to be the lightning round that don't have lightning paste. But the rest of the questions are vastly more silly, so I think it'll be fast anyway. Shall the mullet become the standard haircut for ASC?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely yes.
That may prohibit me from attending. But,
Well, you already have a mullet, don't
We
you?
actually have 4 mullet wigs, so if anybody wants
hook me
or
up.
needs a mullet when they come, we've got extras.
There are 2 quotes I took away from that Facebook post about the news item.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
guys with mullets like that do not lose at Mario Kart. And the reply to that was like, it is whispered that the mullet gives you secret powers.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Next up, what about a no beneficial item champ next year?
You mean
More
the
James.
Joker
wonder who wrote
trophy?
I'd probably still lose. Don't worry.
But you'll feel better?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't even know. All right, so really quick background. I know it's a lightning round, whatever, but this whole started my SMK experience because my 2 cousins, Greg and Rob Grozowski, who are Mario Kart 64 people, they loved Super Mario Kart, and they taught me how to play, and they would only play GP 150cc against each other, and they're identical twins, so they would like race 100 matches and be 50-50. And just watching those guys play at the highest level was always really impressive, and they didn't like to use items against each other. They just liked to race, and I thought that was really really cool and interesting. So that's the genesis of why I don't like to use items. Also because I don't know, I just like to race fast, and that's my goal is just to go there, have a good time, and just race across the track as fast as possible.
I would really like to play GP and other modes without any items, because you still can use coke moves on the other. I think Carol really knows what I'm talking about.
The horse cockery, yes.
You
Yes, I do.
Remember what I'd done to you on Vanilla Lake 2? There was no item strat.
No, we didn't even get to the item blocks yet.
Indeed, it was even before the items, so I'm fine with a non-item competition because I still can have like a complete cock.
Yes. All right, moving on. This one I don't know the what's it called? Context. Will the Dallas PD be making a return at the next edition?
Oh, jeez.
Actually, this is a Drew story.
Of course it is.
Because Drew showed up a bit late, I think, and the only clue we actually had was he had just issues with the Dallas Police Department, and that's all we knew.
Yeah, I think his car, the rent-a-car that he got from the airport, or whatever, broke down on the highway.
Oh yeah, true.
And so, yeah, I think the police were involved because of that. And
this brings me into the next question. I'll just pop that in here because it's perfect timing. Segway king that I am. What? Come on.
So
let me see the phrase of the question. Will Drew's traveling to the venue be live streamed on Twitch next year? Because I would pay pretty hefty money to see that shit.
It should be.
Put some money inside of it too.
I'll sign the petition. I mean, I don't know. I'll throw in.
Because he does some stuff to get places. I mean, I remember the first NLG 07. He was the one, not me, who arranged the stuff or anyone else. He was unannounced, showed up in Norway more or less, and the local newspaper found him, wondering why he was lying in the streets of my hometown. So they interviewed him, and it turns out he's going to this tournament, but he doesn't know how to get there. So he was the one who got in the local newspaper.
that is so Drew. That's Drew in a nutshell right there.
I think that's the proper way to introduce Drew to the European community.
Yeah, that's good.
Just to return briefly to the Dallas PD thing. Actually, what happened, because Drew told me at the event, that he got arrested in Dallas for soliciting because he was walking around like a posh neighborhood in Dallas, where his sister lives, with a big bag underneath his arms and looking like Drew. So basically, the people were thinking like, "Oh, we've got this hobo in our neighborhood, looking for opportunities to, for shenanigans, basically." So then he got taken aside by the cops. So that's that story.
So is that bad or good profiling by the cops?
I think probably good, to be honest.
He called it ethnic profiling. I was more thinking it was probably more social profiling.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, more questions. Should skid marking be prohibited for the next edition?
No.
Bring it back.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Right, good short answer. Should Europeans be banned from the future ASMK
yes.
case?
All French.
No, absolutely not.
No, I was actually very happy that the amount of Europeans that came were there, and they had a good time. So I strongly encourage more and more to come.
I think
we also want some Aussies and South Americans and some Japanese to come. That's what I want to see.
That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the odds and rates of people going will increase now that there has been one. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is. I will write my bid on first for the Market English Masterboard because I think you guys deserve it much more than the French one. But afterwards, I will write a French bid on too, just to make the French community know that this was a wonderful event. Because just having a look at my tweets clearly proves that I had a great moment. I think that writing a long story explaining why it was cool to be here and why I felt extremely well welcomed by the American community is important for all the French guys who were perhaps interesting in attending the next years. Because when one of your fellow countrymates already attended such an event so far away from home, it can be very, very helpful to know that this person had a positive feeling with it and will really tell you need to come with me next year. So this is why I was talking about bringing French army with me next year, because I think we need to be more than one French guy next year.
Sure.
Awesome. We really appreciate that. We thought that Scoob was going to make it for the longest time, and kind of last minute ish, he dropped out. But God, we were really pulling for Scoob to make it.
Yeah,
Had to walk his dog probably.
I was disappointed he couldn't make it, but that's life. Well, as long as Lafungo could not make it, I was happy.
Fair enough. Right, and this is going to be the last one. This is certainly a question for Matt, seeing as he already answered it, but I want to hear some more details. So, will the tournament be held in partnership with Terence Fenner, the founder and CEO of Fenner Guy Co. next time?
Yeah,
best question.
Why not?
This is the best question of the episode.
He has his own company that is designed to make these tournaments possible in the easiest, most efficient way. And he clearly has a lot of business knowledge for anyone who's watched his one of his more recent videos from a business class of his. And he offers a 401k. So it's just win-win-win situation.
He's got a lot of units. Looking at his unit sales, they're off the charts. And it'll be hard negotiations to really get a guy of his caliber on the team. But we're going to work hard and work with him and see if we can get a tournament with minimal number of strikes.
Imagine how smooth the data entry will be with his typing speed.
Yeah, I know, right? And me and Kyle are obviously on board with doing a partnership with Fenner Guy Code next year. When we pitched the idea to Chris, he immediately said no.
Wow.
Some work needed then.
Sad.
That's an asshole response.
Well, it's 2 votes against 1, so we're totally going to be in partnership with Fenner Guy Code.
Sure. It's a pretty big step for you guys, huh? After just 1 year, and you're successfully merging with a giant corporation.
A giant esports corporation.
We couldn't be more excited.
Right.
I can feel it in your voice, actually.
All right, that's it for a lightning round. I just think we gotta wrap it up, boys. But I want to hear if there's any last words from anyone from just.
Well, I'd like to say, to be honest, I'd like to say just how thankful I am for how hospitable everyone over there was, and how much you guys did. Like Joe and Nez, and then the Kartel. You guys were just fucking awesome from start to finish, and really made the trip for me.
Yeah, I must say exactly the same words as Clark.
Amen.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
Really awesome stuff. It was tiring. It was a tough journey with all the fucking bomb cyclones and whatnot. And
that fucking bomb cyclone. We would have had a whole other day to be prepared for traveling. However, everything was pushed back by 24 fucking hours. So that's the reason why we were so wrecked on Saturday morning when we showed up to the event, is because we had to squeeze in, I think, 20 hours of driving in 22 hours, and so like that. So like we couldn't stop, so we had to just get on the road as soon as possible on Thursday or Friday, I think it was. And then I got to my parents' place early Saturday morning at like 1 in the morning, like maybe midnight or something. It's like midnight, and then we went to bed at like 1 and woke up at 4:30. And we're on the road at 5. It was just, we got a nap. We got a nap in, and that was terrible. But fucking bomb cyclone.
But it was still a great adventure, and to see that sort of side of America, which I hadn't seen before, because I've only sort of been to big cities and stuff. So to see like the arse end of nowhere and absolutely nothing. Yeah. And then just to see sort of cool shit. And then the bit which got me is where we're just driving along through, where is it, Kansas or whatever. And then there's just the Houses of Parliament just sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
That was in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oklahoma. I said, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
That's Stinson State.
Yeah. We drove through Oklahoma City. There's a casino right over the border, I guess, or something like that. And there was a big Houses of Parliament. I'm like, what the fuck? Big Ben's right there. That's awesome.
I was taken aback, and seeing all that cool stuff, and that Buc-ee's was very good. I really enjoyed that place.
Yeah, Buc-ee's.
What the fuck was that shop actually? Because I still can't believe I've seen a shop like this. This is something I'm never gonna see again anywhere.
Definitely I know. It's insane. It's like twice the size of my local supermarket or something. It's just a truck stop. It's brilliant.
That picture
American
of Mario wearing the Davy Crockett raccoon hat.
It's one of the best pictures ever.
Priceless. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this picture is very authentic. It really shows on my face how happy I was during the whole trip because
absolutely.
I can be a very, very smiling person when I'm happy, and I was fucking happy during the whole week. Perhaps
That's
happier
awesome.
than I've ever been in Mario Kart week and most of my holiday weeks. It was definitely the best week of my year for sure, and well, this was really one of my best weeks ever.
Awesome.
And it's really, really thanks to you guys.
Well, really appreciate it. Well, something that I kind of experienced when the tournament was over with, something that I experienced after each CDM that I've been to is, we all get to hang out and play this video game that we all grew up and played and fell in love with at an early age, and then get to enjoy it in our adulthood, which is just a dream come true with such amazing people. But it's always a shame on the last day when everyone has to leave. It's like all these awesome people, and we literally spent the whole time playing video games, and after that's done, we're too tired to do anything else. I think that it would be awesome at some point to do something together outside of Mario Kart, actually. And me and Kyle have been talking about it, that we would love to come like a week early before CDM and just do something epic. And just to give you a heads up, Zargoth, we would love to come to Norway and do some outdoorsy shit there like the week before CDM.
You know what? I actually have booked vacation from the week before CDM on weekend, so
Nice.
it's all coming together nicely, huh?
Okay.
Galopigan Zargoth.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but
I think he's trying to say something to you.
No, we would love to I guess go fucking climb a mountain with you guys or something like that.
Yeah, that's the word Carol just said. It's the name of the tallest mountain in Norway.
Okay, perfect. And I think that who was it? Carl and Patrick and Patrick's girlfriend, was it, that came with you and climbed?
Yeah. We nearly stayed on that mountain, man.
Yeah. That was almost a one-way trip.
Well, we would totally be down for something like that, and I think like the more the merrier. It'd be just nice to do something like that the week before CDM.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to say it's the reason I didn't go to CDMs before, but the part I liked most about doing NLG in the past was, the tournament is great, but the time after and before is kind of even more significant in some ways, and CDM always seemed like 24/7 business to me from the outside.
Yeah.
And it does feel like ASC sort of turned into that too. Like too little time to bond and do other stuff, but you got the card stuff perfectly out of the way. So that's good. But yeah, I love the other stuff. Like we had a soccer tournament in Norway by the fjord. I think. Yeah, Carol remembers that as well for sure.
Of course. Yeah.
I missed the football matches.
It is the best location of a football field I have ever seen until this day.
Right, that's just where I grew up. So to me, it's nothing. But I'm just spoiled, I guess. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap it up, boys. And I want to say thank you to everyone for coming on, and especially thanks to, I guess, Kyle and Matt for making the ASC actually happen and starting a new Super Mario Kart tradition.
Yeah, I feel applause is in order here.
I was nearly going to applaud, but I
sorry.
think I'll give it the single clap, and that's high praise.
Monumental.
Very appreciate it.
Thank you so
Like
much.
10 claps too many, huh? You guys overdid it.
You guys actually made American Kart great again.
There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for the entire weekend. Everything was from start to finish was just so good and so nice. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Well, you guys can all thank us by coming again next year.
Yeah.
I might have to fly in next year though. I'm not driving across the damn country.
I'm flying too.
We got an airport, so yeah, it's doable.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds better than bomb cyclones and all that kind of crap. So Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Good carpool with Drew.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Let that simmer for a while. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Fun talking to you guys.
Thanks.
And
Too.
see y'all later.
Laters,
See you guys.
potatoes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Peace.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun.
later.
Peace and love. Believe.